Welcome everyone back to our channel where we're going to do another question and answer session with our Andromedans through Daena. And we did get some audience questions. I'm not sure if we'll get to them this time, but let me start. Let me begin with the first question. The first question is asking about what people are referring to as the big event, which could be for disclosure or whatever. Is this event a series of events, or is it just one big happening? And is the people have been noticing and seeing humans disappearing into thin air? Is this a precursor to this, or what is that about? And secondly, when this disclosure happens, however it happens, how will the sleeping people or the unaware be affected? Those who do not still awaken or take in the information as truth, will they have time to awaken, or will they pass away physically? Will they be put on another planet or another Earth or timeline? Sorry for all the questions, but thank you.
There's no need to apologize for the questions. There are many of them.
Yes, there are.
And we enjoy answering them all. When it comes to this one big event, there is energy deposit in that train of thought. And we are afraid this idea has been implanted into your group of human consciousness from what we would prefer to call a faulty paradigm. We are, this is true, living the time of revelations when frequencies are heightening. During the time of revelations, things will start to come out. And those of you that are further in frequency, if you will be taken up and further in your plane of existence. We find now that there is a need to explain further. You've had several explanations of the construction of the planet in which you are living this lifetime. You must understand that within your planet, there are several layers of existence existing simultaneously. You usually experience only one life form at a time. However, if your frequencies are tuned into other frequency, you are capable of seeing sights or blips of these other places of frequency in which other life forms are existing as well. When it comes to time, there is no time. Time is an illusion created to human consciousness, and we find you are very eager to hold on to the concept of time. Therefore, time has indeed materialized physically into your collective amongst you. Many of you have come, in a way, servants to your said time. So when there are such expressions, is there going to be time? There never is any. There never was the beginning or the end. Because if you take a string of yarn and bend it into a circle, there is no beginning, no end. It just forms circle. This is the cycle of life. Existence has always been, will always be. Life is existence. This is creation that you are experiencing. Which forms it should take along the way as the circle continues is a question of mere details. In which life forms, in which planets, in which formations this does take place will be nothing but delightful, but almost deliriously or oftentimes insignificant. It is just movement of energy. We are aware that when you are in your human bodies, life can feel very difficult oftentimes. If you look at your situation from the place of non-physical, your lifetimes are nothing but a blink of an eye. And when you transform back into non-physical, you will look back to your life and you will see how really, instead of worrying about what will come, you should have maybe concentrated on having fun. Enjoy in your physicality, for that is the one thing when you find non-physicality, you will meet your bodily you will miss your bodily sensations. Go and have fun. Enjoy good food and swim in your natural waters and dance in the wind and listen to what she says. Now, when it comes to the one big event, that also carries an energy load of giving responsibility of what will be to others. You are waiting for this one big event or series of events to come and to happen, and then things would change and they would be changed for you. But we come here to tell you that if you want your worlds to change the frequency and vibrational stance in which you exist and see the world around you change. If you want changed, look in the mirror. There will be great big changes in your societies and within your groups of people geographically and socially as well. But however, future changes every day, several times a day. The path in which your future is now in trajectory going is likely to be different than what it will be in another weeks or months or in your Terran years. So making plans for the future really proves oftentimes to be futile, and where we now to give a detailed description of what is in store to your future, that would place you in an energetic place where you expect this to happen. The energy creation flow within you should be stopped, and you will only sit in your places and wait for this one thing to happen. When the one thing would not happen or other things would materialize into your physical manifestational reality, you will get frustrated and disappointed. Your needs will not be met. This would only lower your vibrational states. But we want to tell you that humanity is in a very unique position, for you have the capability of limitless creation. You just haven't yet remembered it, because it's almost like there's been this veil of so they show me the dark veil of they can't find expression. They show me this dark veil of almost like beanie that's too long, and it goes over your head and comes all the way to the neck here. So they show something like this. Moving on with this question. And when it comes to this time of revelation, also one thing should be said. There is this debate about there are groups of people who talk about ascension. Basically, what this means is a step up on the vibrational level, and all timelines collapsing into one, and your reality is brought to one plane, one level of existence, instead of the very many planes it at the moment exists, which concurrence has to do with the latter part of your question we still need to answer and want to answer. And it is true that there is another planet has already been created, and this in vibrational level, what you are very fond of your parameters. They show me like this mathematical kind of a grids that are created. And this is what you call a 4D planet. And this would be reserved to people who are incapable of rising up on vibrational level when everything will be pulled together in your future space, when you look at it from the place in which you are now within your current timeline. And those who can carry on to your higher vibrational levels will carry on as well. You shouldn't wonder about families being separated. Your lifetimes, really, much of what you see is mirror effect and mirror imagery. And much of these imageries, when the time of, we refuse to use the expression separation, but when the time for change comes eventually, it will not be a drastic one. You will find yourselves, the people who are already in the higher vibrational spaces at that time, can understand the natural evolvement of situation, and those who are not will continue to experience their lives as it is. There will not be any discrepancy there. Everything will feel to all people very natural. And when it comes to this word many of you like to use, ascension, you already have to know everyone will ascend. Just like normal evolution of a soul, growing path of a soul, life starts from rather basic level. As vibrational level rises higher, the physical form of the person will change until it reaches a point where physicality no longer exists. And oftentimes at this time, a soul will choose another place to appear, another star system, another solar system, another planet, another plane of existence. There is no end to evolvement. Be not so very, it's like they show like an animal would be like a sloth would hang onto a tree, and very long nails, kind of like grabbing, like don't be so eager to hold on to the reality you now have, because your reality, what you now have, is bound to change. It already is in the movement of change. Allow it to flow through and to take form, and this form will oftentimes change. or it's almost like much like they show me a face of a child will come into adulthood and then into senior years, old age, and how the face will change from an infant to a child to an adult, and then back into it's almost like the old age, like the life cycle. It's like the cycle is never ending, and oftentimes the people and animals that you circle with in these lifetimes. So oftentimes you choose to circle with the same people and animals. We should like to say souls. So there really is no separation because you are part of creation. You are part of, and this will feel easier for many to grasp within. They show me to grasp in the, because Andromedans, they work from the energy of love. So everything happens from the heart, from heart center. So it's like to grasp from a position of love. So it's almost like you take the energy and you take it into your heart. Brain, as they've told me, brain is for cognitive, like you really you feel that the direction, the guidance within your heart, what's right, what really is true and pure, and then you use your brain to make the plans. But really your most important, it's almost like the position, the center of all and everything is coming from your heart space. And this almost like this disconnection to the heart space and just concentrating on thinking with the brain is faulty, and that is being programmed. Now, when it comes, the last part of your question is these people disappearing into thin air. Yes, it's true. This has to do with the multi-level existing in which you actually are existing right now. So they show me layers of planes of existence that it's almost like they are limiting each other, like they are having this dance that has to do with imagine if it's almost like the timelines. Think of them as tubes, how I could visualize this. So think of them as tubes, and a lot of, so what happens in these days is the higher your frequencies are, the higher, it's all like part of you already exists in the higher frequencies. So in a way, your light body, your astral body can very well be way up here, especially if you have connections to the higher dimensionals. And newsflash, every single human being has. It just depends how connected you are to them. So the more you kind of already pre-exist up there, like over there, but then your physicalities are in this world. They'd like me to tell when I was walking, and one day I actually left a message to these two fine ladies here. I saw a bird, but I saw two birds. Like I saw like the it's almost like I saw one bird and then another, and it was the one bird, but I saw it in two, and they were kind of like the images were slightly limited. And I asked them like, what is going on in here? And they told me that because I was at the time I was connected to them, so I was already in a higher vibrational state, but then my physicality was walking here in Hicktown. So two very different worlds, if you know what I mean. So it's almost like I was looking at the same one physical object from two vibrational spaces, and the other one was here, but my physicality was here, and here was the one bird, and here was the other, another. And so this is what is happening. And also when it comes to timelines, like we should now talk about, not to go too deep into this month, but we are energetically at the point where we've kind of like humanity or this whole planet and its people, I wouldn't want to say we've taken back in time, It's not that, not exactly, but it's almost like time feels like it's been slowed down. It's been muffled a little bit. And that is because things are being done and prepared over here. And there's nothing to fear because this is the work of the good guys here. And this is where we now are. But it's almost like we need to remain on this plane of existence for a while so that things that are done over here can be finished. And when they are finished, it's almost like we'll be back shimmied into the flow and to the action. But if it feels like you felt a little bit like you're in no man's land and everything feels just strange, there's a reason for that. But the reason is actually very good, and this is for the benefit for the human collective. So it's like this is the time to kind of recollect, to rest as much as you can, and also if there are some things, if they are showing me smoking that is very bad. Smoke itself is as frequency is heightening, but the nicotine and the tar and all venomous things in cigarettes is actually very bad for your physicality, etc. And they are warning a little. And this is not a sad thing, but you might start. There will come a time that you might start to witness more and more people starting to decline in their health. And these will be the souls who have chosen not to find the higher vibrational frequency, existing level, or or they just cannot yet to ascend. But it will be, and I've seen a very close member of my family transition in less than a week ago, and I've actually had conversations with him. I've seen him being completely liberated from his physical ailments. There is no longer pain. He feels completely free. So this really, when this happens to your loved ones, I don't mean to sound brutal or cruel. This really is a cause for celebration. And they are telling, like they have told me, that you must take this situation from a standpoint of reconnecting with your relatives and the loved ones, like come together and kind of see where you are, within each other, and continue those relationships if you feel like they are in support of you. So it's almost like universe will use all kinds of things to arrange groups of people together that need to come together. But also don't be afraid to walk away from those groups of people if you must, because sometimes people just don't meet at the same plane, at the same vibrational level, and it's okay. But just, you know, it's almost like they show me these groups of people, almost like an amoeba coming together and separating and then coming together elsewhere, etc. So don't feel, and this took a very unexpected turn, but this is what they want me to say. It's almost like don't feel strange reconnecting with old friends, acquaintances, or relatives, but also you must it's almost like don't forget your individuality, and don't hesitate to separate yourselves from those groups either.
Perfect.
So this concluded that question.
Thank you for that elaborate and wonderful description.
You
That's
just
wonderful.
never know. It's almost like a cornucopia. You ask one question.
Well, that's true. And a lot of things that get kind of answered as we go. And I think Stephanie might just ask for some clarification on some things. right? Or
Yeah.
Stephanie, your turn.
So the people who are disappearing, it's because they're like raising in vibration or not being about
You've
like
risen in vibration. So what happens, it's almost like we and I've been having this, it's very interesting, this discussion, and it explains because different people have been talking about, like, you know, the earth is like they like to say terra. Oftentimes the galactics often talk about our planet, and they have a nickname, and that is a blue pearl, because it's so beautiful. It's very unique in universe, and they truly they cherish our planet, and they've been very sad for a long time because of everything that is, you know, taking place here. But you know, there are people who talk about these different layers of existence, and some people say that it's like an onion. But really what they told me was that life exists here in different, it's almost like in different planes of frequency. And they want me to now almost like to get back to very familiar stuff to me. So the elementals say the fairy realm, for example, is like the elementals are in, say where humanity was, say 10 years ago, completely perfectly 3D, except for some oddities who were probably bullied and picked and kind of outcasts from society, or then they just knew how to keep their mouths shut, or didn't just care. I belong to the latter group. Anyway, so these were the kind of a 3-layerish humanity here. And here would be the elemental realm. And this is the reason why some people can see, say, pixies and elves and forest spirits, etc. It's because they can rise to the frequency of elementals, or largely, like they have a large kind of a, like, they largely are elementals within themselves, because we are kind of a, it's almost, we're all basically muds. It's just a question of what you got inside you, and it's a good thing. It is a richness. The more you have of all of this in you, the more capabilities you have, really, and more potentiality to kind of hone these gifts. But it just means that you can rise to the vibrational level of this elemental plane of existence, and you can meet there. But your feet can very well be sternly in the soil of this planet all the time. But you know, the higher you go, it's almost like, so where people see these glitches, it usually is these days the collapsing timelines. So you either are whisked, or they are taken back into time in future, and then the timelines collapse, etc. But it also can be layers of existence. Like these days, to me, it's because I'm so much in conversation with my peeps. Say I go to some place, and it's getting quite hard for me to be in public places like a mall or something. But there are some shops that I like to go to, or need to get. So when I do go to those places, when there are fluorescent lights and a lot of people, but it's very disconnected from nature and very ungrounded place. And I feel that. So it's like there is a level of difficulty in existing in those places. So it's almost like I almost let's put it this way. I rise my frequencies to a place where I mainly exist in higher vibrational level, and it's almost like, imagine it's a shell of you is walking, and another, and this is something, so they want to talk about this now, which is interesting. This one is taking a very unexpected turn. So basically, it's about controlling your energy field, because it's it's say 2 days ago, I was in a mall with my son. And when you have individuals that are in different place vibrationally, they can garner attention from other people. And they don't even know, they don't need to have, 3 heads or anything, extra special. You don't need to be very, very, tall or have abnormally long hands or anything. You don't need to sing and dance. It's just that there's a vibrational place of existence is different than of your normal population. And I noticed last time we were, oftentimes people were walking and kind of taking a look back, and they just, they just kind of stared, and their faces was like, and we were wearing quite normal. I mean, I had a tweed coat and nothing that would catch a person's eye necessarily. We were dressed quite normally. But I saw a lot of people taking a, second, third, and a fourth look. And I asked them, like, what's going on? And they told me they sense like their humans don't understand what's going on. So it's almost like, and oftentimes people would look a little bit embarrassed themselves, like, like, sorry about that. But it's almost like they couldn't help but stare, because their spirits recognized a higher vibrational plane of existence, and it was interested. It was something that was very atypical to that particular space, that was abnormal, but they didn't know what that was. But there was some strangeness there, and that was intriguing, but also strange because they couldn't give a name to it. So when you are in public, you can, if you want to, and I use this all the time when I'm in public and there are a lot of people. So what I do is like, here is your human. Say this jar is your energy field, and this copper wire, if you can see this is your human. Like, so, okay, this is your human, and around your human is an energy field. And when you are in a higher vibrational plane of existence, it's almost like your energy field, it is brighter and it is wider, and that can attract attention. What you can do when you go to public places, when I'm alone and I'm actually minding, I'm looking to that, and I wasn't the last time. I was kind of chatting away with him. So anyways, I wasn't minding that, but usually when I am, is like you can pull your energy field within you, almost like you can compress it inside of you, and it's almost like you have this very sacred wall of very condensed energy, and that can be your energy field. And that is a play, if you want to make yourselves invisible, that is the one kind of a trick. You can mold your energy field to the size and the shape of your physical body, but even if you can kind of compress it a little bit smaller, it's almost like people stop noticing you. Like, you can walk around quite freely without them really seeing you. And it's not that you are that invisible at the moment, because that actually takes quite a bit of energy to do that. That is energy manipulation as well. But what you can do is kind of compress your energy field, and that is almost like, it's almost as if you were to walk invisible. And it's not that you are invisible, it's that people don't necessarily take notice of you. It's almost like, imagine at that moment you are garnering the charisma and magnetism of a dust mite that is forgotten under the bed, and then all of a sudden it's just, one beautiful day gets sucked up by the Hoover accidentally, almost, because it's that tiny, that minute, that almost like non-interesting thing, and you just don't notice something that is so so very small. And that is when you are in situations when you don't necessarily want that extra attention, because that will start to happen when the energies rise. It's almost like people start to notice you and look at you differently, and they are like, I'm like, do we know each other? Like, the person is still staring at me. And but you can do that. You can kind of compress your energy field. It's just that you need to be mindful of that. You need to do that consciously, knowingly, and you need to intend that. It just doesn't happen. And but it's very kind of you feel very protected at the time. And it's not that your energy field, it is more compressed, but it's not any less powerful. It is powerful. It's just, it's all protected and compressed inside of you. And then you can almost, like when I step back into the car and I lock the doors, it's like, I let it explode, and it's like, oof, that wasn't a rare experience. But you can preserve energy, but especially because what happens these days is people don't know why that is, but everyone is feeling emotions of sadness, emotions of frustration, anger, like they want something to hold on to. And oftentimes people, it's like almost like I see people's souls as hungry, like they want to hang on to some, like on soul level, our souls know when someone knows something. It's like, tell me what is going on. They want to hang on to you. And it's almost like you feel like people oftentimes may be draining your energy, even though they don't even necessarily mean that. But that is one way to preserve your energy when you are in a place where there are a lot of people. And that is very recommended.
Okay, so I'm going to ask a couple things because I need to further clarify a few things. And you answered a lot of the questions that I was going to ask. So I'm trying to pick apart like what wasn't covered. So firstly, the people that disappeared, they weren't NPCs devoid of a soul. And is that a thing? And so time is a human construct. How do we go about breaking that connection to time? And because to me, that's like the veil, the programming is almost like starting with the time. And then the third thing is, since the big deal is not really somebody coming or something happening to us, and we are the ones that are in charge of this awakening and this big event. That's a big thing to put on us. And I've heard it before, but how do we like start by like making that happen? And do we really need to worry about others and what they, like our family members, in relation to how they're going to awaken or get on board?
So depending on the person who was asking, sometimes you might see people. What we see, the person who was asking, to her, we see that who she saw was not a what you call NPC. That was a glitch from a neighboring timeline. Whether there are such, we would like to call them soulless beings. Yes, there still are some. Unfortunately, your human race has partially been manipulated. And we encourage you not to worry about those. Where you are going, they can't follow. And really, they at the moment are nothing but empty shells working on borrowed time, and the time that they have is very little. We are using the terms of your humans here now. Now, when it comes to what was the second question? Time.
And
They show-
timelines are brought up also. So
Mm.
is there a correlation?
There's a
break
correlation
that
to everything when it comes to timelines. Timelines are where we are. Timelines are what we are creating when we think about something. And timelines are, they kind of want to get to a certain kind of a try. And the thing is, they show me the whole of the picture, but the picture is very wide. And it's almost like they are trying to figure out how to express this. People would like to have details when something is going to happen, where, to whom, who made it happen, and who gave the A-OK to that. So show me the receipts. Like they'd like to have, but it's almost like they just show the timelines and how the energy works and how universe works and how the creation goes about. Like it's almost like basically they tell me, we've told you about timelines. If you go too much into detail and it's like they show me like pick it apart, then you're getting stuck with that.
Well, how do we break down the attachment to time?
That is a good question. They say by acknowledging its non-existence. Time is something that was back in the days created to human collective. It is to restrain you, to give you, it's almost like they show me a boxing ring, like to give you edges, and you need to stay within certain lines that are being given to you by outside forces. And this, like this way of thinking is what is causing the confusion to humanity. And it may take a lot of time to get over that way of thinking. But that way of thinking means we are giving power of our destinies, of our lives, of our futures, and our world, our planet to outside forces, when there is no outside force stronger than you are individually. No one gets to decide for you. But you need to come to that realization within yourselves. Now, the time and timelines is like everything is in existence. Everything is created already. It's almost like the how you experience it. If it helps, they say, try to think of this as a dream. Things are just happening, but they already are created, and you are over there watching you seeing this dream. They are okay. They are saying we are aware this might not be the answer you are looking for, but it is the truth.
I think that thinking of it as a dream is a good way to put it.
Mhm.
Yeah, I do actually.
And also it's like they are constantly, why is it such a big hairy deal? It isn't really.
Well,
It's
that's
been programmed.
Almost like for everything. It's like you've forgotten to be happy along the way.
yeah. It just speaks to how horribly they have manipulated us and caused us to lose our memory, what we really know.
Mm.
So
The third question, there was a third question.
I believe that was
They say we remember. Third question was, that is a big responsibility to give to humanity. Who would you like to have the responsibility then? some outside force who decides for you?
I think people are willing to do that.
They don't want to do the
This is
work.
the problem. As long
They
as
don't
you
want-
expect
yeah.
the decision and clarity and path to be given to you by the outside forces, you
Yeah.
are giving away your power to the outside forces. Always within your human outside forces and the groups of people you seem to create, there are own agendas, and they want their own advancements and profits of the situation. Therefore, you give your power of your lives and your destinies to others. And you are free to continue to do that as well. This is part of the law of non-interference. How you, if you want to change, if you are happy with it, continue to think of it like that. If you want change, change yourselves. Should you worry about the others? If you want to, if that makes you happy, it certainly doesn't rise your place of frequency. You only need to, you really don't need to worry about anything. What you can control is the vibrational level in which you exist. So if you want to change something, change yourselves, and that's where you change the world around you. Because when you reach a different vibrational level, your world around you will change around you to suit your vibrational frequency. It must. That is the law. This is the way how you can change your planet, your plane of existence, and your vibrational level. There is no outside force who will come and lift you up and carry you. You must carry yourselves and take responsibilities of yourselves. It's true what you mentioned earlier, that this is being programmed within your deep, within your functionality, and even in your memories. These things are lowering the frequency very fast, so we will not stay within this subject matter for much longer. But what the result also is that this is the place that is deterring you from going forward within your lives. If you want to change that, you need to change yourselves.
Perfect. Thank you very much for that. We can move on to a completely different topic, but then you also,
I
go
wonder though,
ahead.
what the topics, how important the topics are truly, if we're creating our world too. So, we have to take that kind of into consideration. So, and I just had to put that in there.
Well, I know that,
but
that if there was another message, you said you had made reference to possibly another important message that they wanted to share. I do believe they've had the stage today. So if they have something else they want to deliver to us, aside from any other questions, this would be a good time.
yeah, let's do that.
Just there are many beautiful things on your planet. We would like to encourage you to reconnect to them. Search more for time in your nature. Try to spend as little time as possible in your cities. Try to support your vibrational level with communicating with animals and your nature that you have. That is one outside force you can help your frequency with. But when it comes to your sovereignty and your independence, it is your birthright. You don't need to wait for anyone to give it to you. That is a completely faulty stance to take. It already is yours. You only have to use it. It's already there. We've enjoyed this interaction greatly and look forward to meeting you the second time.
Great. So that's lovely message, and lovely explanations to the questions we asked. and we really appreciate it. I think we can probably wrap that up. What do you think, Steph?
Yeah, I mean, we have questions, but
Yeah, we'll have to look into.
have to reassess,
Yeah.
given this new knowledge and information that we have to like take in and really process.
Yeah, it is a mind change. It is a way of perspective and changing your thinking. And so we appreciate all those tips that they gave us, suggestions. We so appreciate them. So, and thank you, Daena, for
Thank you.
allowing the
Daena.
message
Thank
to get to us. And thank you, everyone. Again, remember, we are interested in any questions that you might have and would like to ask. If some of this as we go forward seems to be kind of irrelevant from the things that we are learning, because we are getting great descriptions, we may not necessarily ask it the way you want it, or the questions will be answered to you. But go ahead and use the email that I have attached to this video, and then in the subject line put Andromedan questions. So we want to keep it in one place so that questions are not noted for Daena in advance. So thank you so much for joining us, and until we do this again, have a wonderful morning, afternoon, or
Long and prosper.
You bet. Bye-bye now.
Needed to be said.
Yeah. Is that it?
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank
Bye-bye
you.
now. Mhm.
Bye-bye.